what is up guys? Technicals Tinkers here, checking in on our little 3D print operation for today. If you're new to the channel, uninitiated, or unfamiliar, I own a business that has nothing to do with 3D printing, but I'm exploring 3D printing as a side income, passive income, not passive income, side hustle sort of thing here at home, printing different things, listing them on the internet for sale, showing off what works, what doesn't, how I price things, how I think about things. So if you'd like, join in on the fun, subscribe to the channel. So let's see what I got on the plates. If you've been a fan of the channel for a while, you know I've been kind of getting lazy with my vlogs here, just doing like 2 big monologues. So I'm gonna try to commit to doing this kind of throughout the day because I've got a lot of things lined up, a lot of things going on. So let's take a look here. I'm already laughing about it because, you know, of course there's a failure. Which printer do you think is, pause the video, which printer do you think failed? I'll give you one hint, the Orangestorm GIGA. But first, if you saw previously, I was printing these little smoke stashes for my stores. These finished up. I did both of these in a silk PLA on the Anycubic Cobra 2 Maxes. They completed successfully, looking pretty good. Now these print all in one go. So let's pop these off. I'll kind of show you how they work. All right, so you got them here. They come off all in one piece. The door prints inside, so you just have to pop the door open, and there's some tree supports inside of there. I'm not sure if the designer intended for you to print these without support, because that's kind of a spicy bridging, but it's inside the model, not in an area where you would see it. I just put supports on it because the trees kind of snake their way up inside of there. And it ends up looking okay, and the door, you work it back and forth a couple times, and it's good to go. Snaps closed seamlessly. Cap obviously prints on its own upside down, and you just screw it on. And once again, these are like a smoke stash thing. You put your lighter in here, your pre-roll, I guess, in there, your cigarette, and then your cigarette tobacco inside this little compartment. Again, 53 cents to print these, not too bad. So I'm printing up a batch of them. I'm going to take them over to the warehouse, see what the stores think about it, see if they got any ideas about it, because I can print these in like big batches, burn up old spools, and then I can just take them to the stores and kind of show them how to take the supports off. That way I don't have to do it, just take it over there. Maybe it's a good thing. We'll be following that here as we move along. So I'm going to pull those off the plates here today, box them up, and probably get another batch of them going because I've still got enough left on those spools to do probably another 9 set. All right, so the Orangestorm GIGA. My previous video about it was it might actually be cursed. And, you know, in the back of my mind, I didn't really think it was cursed. You know, it's always me like having some kind of problem with it, or I didn't do something right, or didn't, you know, turn this knob or make some change in the slice that I needed to. This is 100% not on me. Well, I guess it could, I mean, ultimately it is. The buck stops here, but let's see if I'll set this on my wife's hood. So last night I did a filament change on the GIGA. We exhausted the 5 kilo spool, and I thought, printer's running slow enough, let's burn up one of these 1 kilogram spools, and then I could finish it out with another 1 kilogram spool, because what I'm printing here was the lower section of the coffee table. So you may recall that I was doing the coffee table. I showed the smaller version of what I was doing previously. I started printing the big version of it, and it was coming out fantastic, nice and big. You know, so maybe one more top layer here, based on what I'm kind of looking at on the top. It's a little rough, but overall the size looked good, the strength seems good, but the print did fail, and it failed just in one of the most annoying ways possible. So when the filament runs out up there, the run out sensor's up top, it pulls it through, and then within a second the machine stops. It doesn't keep going for any length of time. But what appeared to have happened is, and I left it exactly the way it is so I can examine this. The spool emptied, and it looks like it was down into the core. It looks like the filament was so stuck into the core of this thing that it pulled it off the spool roller, and that kink right there indicates to me that it was at such an angle it could not pull it out of the spool, and thusly it simply snapped down here at the extruder. It looks like it probably snapped somewhere inside of it, I'm not sure, and then the extruder just kept going because there was still filament in the runout sensor. And it looks like, based on when I came in here and saw it, that it had been within the past 20 minutes. If I had only come in here about 20 minutes earlier, I would have caught it before that happened. Very unfortunate. What can we learn from this? My only real takeaway from this is, you know, kind of what I was You know, I've had this problem in the past before where these spools get hung up and they will not remove. So this one's still in here. And, you know, if we're pretending that this is a real 3D printer filament thing, it's gonna roll and then it's gonna straighten out and it should come right out because they put this little barb on the end to hold it in place when they spool it at the factory. But this pulled it off the spool roller, and you know, if it was on like a post, it would have pulled out. But this sits on a roller, this because it's the one for the 5 kilos. So I'm thinking if I ever run 1 kilo spools in the GIGA, I've got to account for how lightweight the spool itself is. And so I need to put it on put some kind of mount here that it can pull off of, something that can offer resistance for the extruder to pull the filament out. So that's a bummer. I'll take 50%. Let me know in the comments below if you'll give me 50% fault on that instead of 100%, because I don't want to feel like it's 100% my fault to kind of put it on there and then it just flips out. I want to call it an act of God, but you know, no use crying over spilt milk. Let's take a look at the print though. All right, so taking a look at the print, and excuse the noise, I've got my Flashforge 85N Pro down there printing another sort of new concept, going down some different lines. Show some B-roll of that while I'm talking. Gonna take a look at that here in a second, but taking a look at the coffee table first, take off our brim here. Like I was saying, another top layer is probably in order on this thing because it's a little bubbly here. I did this at I believe a 3% gyroid infill. I know I wouldn't need a lot because I'm doing 3 wall loops on it. And again, this is a bigger version of this, or basically a facsimile of this. I increased, well, it's pretty close. It's got the 2 sides enclosed and then like the 1 stem that comes up for the coffee table. This I printed at 24-inch diameter. It's gonna be sturdy enough, I can tell already. And the bottom, there's like really no give there. I was thinking maybe of like kind of putting some kind of design in the middle, or maybe like a post that kind of comes up to where people could put something, a live, laugh, love bullshit or some kind of decoration in there. But I want to see if the glass tabletop is actually gonna fit. Oh, super heavy. All right, let's put this on here. All right, come on, dude, what are you doing over there? All right, so over here you can see the reflection's gonna screw with it, but over here you can see you got about a 4-inch overhang on each side. That's exactly what I was looking for. I didn't want it all the way out to the edges. It could go wider, but I wanted to leave it kind of that way. And I'm going 16 inches tall, which is kind of like the standard for coffee tables. Could go a little bit lower for something, people have low couches or whatever. But overall, so this kind of gives me the validation that at least the diameter of the piece is correct. I'm just trying to price out, you know, how much is this thing going to end up costing. The tabletop was $45, and 3 kilos of filament, so that's, you know, 12, 24, 36. 36 plus 45 is 81. So $81 of cost into this. Shipping, probably $100, I'd imagine. I kept the box that the glass panel came in for like the padding and because it's made to be the way it is, so I'll probably ship that just kind of nested together or tied together, and I might price out how much it costs to ship the tabletop and the base separately. Might be cheaper. Not sure, but I'm gonna guess $100, so I'm like 181 bucks into this just to fulfill it. And so how much money do I wanna make on that? You know, I've been trying to be less greedy lately. And plus, there's no real post-production involved with this. This is, you know, it's an off-the-shelf part, and a part that basically prints how it's gonna be. I'm gonna clean up the brim, you know, clean up the strings. So maybe add 50 bucks to it, $250 bucks. You know, that's 50, 70 bucks, you know, Etsy fees, of course. Need to print up a batch of these tags I showed in the last video. I started them on a plate, but the A1 kind of went haywire. Actually, it didn't go haywire. It's because I started the print with something already on the plate, and that's the hazard of not having your 3D printer where you can see it, where you send the jobs to. Let me know in the comments, have you ever done that? You sent it and then you get the error saying like bed mesh leveling failed. I'm like, why did it fail? And it's like, because this was already on there. It was trying to, the head was like hitting it. Ultimate Pen Cup, gonna be listing these today because the Ultimate Pen Cup video comes out, today's Thursday, the 6th. And so that video comes out Monday. There's one vlog video after that. And so this video will come out probably Friday, I guess. So I want to make sure that I have this product listed on the Etsy. I put up the digital file for people to download, because I mentioned in that video, if you want to download your own, it's $5. But I want the real one to be up, and I want pictures of it up. So I got the lime green here, the black. This one came off of the FL Sun T1 Pro, came out great. No issues whatsoever. Blue one coming off the A1, also great. Yellow one coming off the P1P. All of them look great. It's a very simple model. It's kind of hard to screw this one up. You know, it may be a little, the tiniest bit stringy, but I'm looking for problems at that point. You want to see, you want proof, guy? Huh? And then finally, this, I call this the USB Trigon. Again, some people actually watched the content I put out last time where I just mentioned for 1/10 of a second I was playing Satisfactory, and people are sending me Satisfactory references and videos, which I love that, because it's one of my top 5 games of all time. So I call this the USB Trigon. Trigon's an item you have to make in Satisfactory, but I've got all these USBs, and if you saw the Ultimate Pen Cup, Ultimate Pen Cup's got a spot for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 USBs you can put on the side. But as I was going through my cabinets, I noticed that I have significantly more USBs than that, and I'm something of a USB hoarder because I'm also a crypto guy. And if you've been in crypto for any length of time, if you've been in crypto, I'd say before the year 2020, you probably have this disease as well, where you will never throw away a USB, because you never know, you might have some keys on there somewhere that might be worth something someday. So I hang on to all my USBs, and so I was like, I've got way more than 10. You know, I'll keep the backups in a cabinet, but I wanted something to where I could have clean USBs that I know are empty, and ones that I have stuff on, and I need more space than 10. So I can keep 10 in my pen cup here on my desk with like active things, or things I use for 3D printing. But the ones that are just kind of in cold storage, I just made a simple USB tower. Originally it was one-sided. I'm gonna dig in my trash to find the first one. It's probably got balsamic glaze all over the side of it. I had a little balsamic glaze for breakfast. I made a one-sided version here. But then as I was organizing it, I noticed I got a whole bunch of these micro USBs and some of these adapters and whatnot. So currently I'm printing the final version of this over here on the Flashforge 85M Pro, printing it in ABS because, well, that was what was in the printer. So more space for these, more space for the micro USBs, plenty of room for you know, standard size USBs. You just fit it in here, it holds them right in place. So I'm gonna be printing that, and I'm actually gonna make it a product, and I've long shied away from doing things like this, because there are a billion different types of these on Etsy, on eBay, on Amazon. I could order something that organizes all my USBs very similar to this on Amazon for way less than I could ever sell it for. But I wanted it right now, and I wanted the capacity, so I could try to find something that could house. How many does this even hold? 28 plus 28, 56? Holds 56 USBs, and well, the new version will hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 8 micro USBs. So plenty of storage space. I just wanted something that fit my needs. So I'm just gonna make that a product. I'm not gonna be greedy about it. I'm gonna try to make my big old $5 on it. I'm gonna list it on Etsy, because if you saw a long time ago, I made the ultimate anti-drink tipping stand. Put a picture of it here. Literally a cone, like an so your drink doesn't tip over. I did sell one of those. I sold one. But I sold one, and it sold for like $15. And so there are people out there that will buy it, so why not just put it out there? So that's what I'm gonna do. Once that's done, the USB Trigon, I'm gonna put it out there. And then I was also thinking about some other things, other organizers, like today's my TRT day. And so I usually keep all my stuff in just a bin. And I'm like, well, there's a lot of guys out there that do TRT. And so maybe I can make a little TRT station that you put your little vials, your tips, because you have to have different size tips, syringe needles, little for alcohol wipes, things like that. You can just make a little station for people that do TRT, and maybe they'll buy it, to keep everything organized. So I'm trying to think of more ideas like that. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. So this is Chili, my oldest dog. She's a miniature dachshund, sleeps most of the day. Sorry to wake you up, I need video. Chili is 18 years old. As such, she doesn't move around all that great. She still has her moments. She's quite spry, but you know, she's old. What does this have to do with 3D printing? On the front of my house, we built a dog habitat. Excuse the dog turds, I have a lot of dogs. So I have this little dog paddock that we have right off the front of our house. It's where they can go outside, go potty. It's AstroTurf, so you can spray it with enzyme. It keeps it relatively clean. Because if you had real grass, the dogs would destroy it and it'd just be a mud bog 24/7. So this is the dogs go bathroom sort of area. Front door has a step and then a step up into the door. So old dog, small dog like Chili is not going to be able to make that jump. So I've been adding ramps continuously over the years. Started out with a short ramp and then it's like, oh, it's too steep for her to go up the ramp. So I have to make the ramp longer. Now the ramp is 8 feet long and it's patched together with a supplemental ramp off the side because she was getting too close to the side and we didn't want her to fall in the crack and the big dogs scooch her out of the way. So it's become this sort of architect. Can I say, I'm not sure if I can say, it's become nomadic European people's architecture. If you're familiar with that, they kind of come into a house and then they just add wings onto the house over and over again until it turns into a monstrosity. Look up some, Google search it. It's pretty interesting to see. But anyway, this is my concoction of ramp. The problem is that when Chili goes out, she doesn't like going up the ramp at the lowest portion. For some reason, she wants to jump up the side and it's quite difficult for her and she's kind of stumbled a little bit. And so I've been tasked with eliminating that ledge and making sort of a pyramid. Make this to where she doesn't have to step up 3 inches because she refuses to go around the right way. And barricading this off was deemed to be not allowed. So I'm going to be looking for something that is 34 inches. So that's Orangestorm GIGA territory. Its highest point here is 4 and well, we're going to come off the plane here. So we're going to say 4.5. Now the rest of them are wondering why they're not in never ends. Now ordinarily I would just get some scrap wood and kind of cobble something together, but given that it's not just another ramp, it's kind of like a ramp, it's kind of like a quarter of a pyramid sort of, but just on a longer plane. We're going to bother screen capping this. I'm just in Tinkercad. I made a wedge with those maximum measurements. And then I think what I'm going to do is take a bullion here and rotate it down until I get kind of something like this. All right, scratch that idea, not doing the dog ramp. I just gated it off because I just didn't have, it was gonna be in the rain and it was gonna make like a soppy mess and I really don't want Chili walking around that pillar anyway. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go against the rules here, gated it off. So that one's, scratch that. Got the Ultimate Pen Cup listed. All right, so got the Ultimate Pen Cup listed here on Etsy. Took some nicer-ish photos. Let's see. So, well, I don't know, why does it zoom in like that? Samples here, so I went in and put in color. I did a bunch of colors that I don't have printed yet, but these are like basic colors. And then quantity, if they buy multiple, you get a discount if you buy more. So hopefully, you know, some nicer photos will translate into some more interest. Who's this? It happened again, while I'm recording, no less. I gotta find a way to monetize that. While I'm recording, this is a good post for Twitter. So over the past 4 or 5 years now, I get incorrect calls at a rate of maybe twice a year for another person named Matt. He is a CEO of a Fortune 1000 company. Last I saw that their revenues were just under $2 billion. I got to find a way to monetize that because they're calling for him. I imagine there's big money floating around. He was previously a CTO or a CFO or something like that, but he's CEO now. I reached out to him on his LinkedIn, and obviously he's not going to reply to me, some podunk guy. So I don't know how they're getting my number, and I got to figure that if they were an important person, they would have the right number for him and not be calling me. But I just feel like there should be a way to monetize that. Like maybe they're like, is this Matt? And I'm like, yes. And they're like, oh, we want to send you this product. And I'm like, you know, normally when they're trying to court me, you send over a little something, something to sweeten the deal. And they'll send me, you know, like, I don't know, a Bugatti or something. And they're like, wait a minute, you're not that other Matt. And I'm like, but you only asked if I was Matt, and that's true. Your Honor, they asked if I was Matt. I should record the call, shouldn't I? Anyway, let me know what your idea is. How can I grift some money out of all these wrong numbers. Anyway, got the Ultimate Pen Cup listed. Now I'm on to the Ultimate. Again, like this is the focus, and I feel like there's more promise with this kind of shit than the art stuff. You know, it's a functional print of something that exists. I put my spin on it. It's obviously minimalist, but you don't see many USB storage solutions that hold, what did I say, 56. So I printed another version of it with a few more slots for these micro SDs and these, you know, adapters or whatnot. But I got all my USB drives in here, and again, I never throw these away. I keep every single USB drive forever and ever, amen. And I've still got a few spots to fill, so hey, that's a good thing. But you know, again, it's a simple print. This took a surprising amount of filament to do it though. At 2 wall loops at 5%, which is plenty sturdy. I feel like I'm leaving some money on the table though. Like I could put some more storage down here or make this into a little tray or something, but you know what? I was like, you know what, you're putting too much thought into it. Leave it as a effing triangle and just throw it out there and see what you get. But again, surprising amount of filament. It's like 180 grams of filament, which is, I'd have to look at that because the Ultimate Pen Cup was like 170. So, you know, is someone gonna pay $15 for this? Maybe. I mean, because if you search Etsy and things for USB storage, there's not a lot of solutions on there. I need to check Amazon. Let's check Amazon. All right, so there's some on here. This one says 53 slots. It's $20. It's in this nice case. You know, that's something maybe I could explore. Okay, this one, full case drive. This holds 104. Yeah, so this is a literal piece of Tupperware with foam in it. So, you know, it's actually not a bad idea. Buy like the outer enclosure off the shelf and then 3D print the insert for it. But I'm going with this for now. Let me know what you would think in the comments. It'll probably already be up, link in the description. Check it out if you need one. I'm just gonna make my way through and keep finding things to organize. There she is. Caught her in the wild. Hey, come back. Slow down. Seems fitting. Let's close this vlog out in the print room. Usually start here, let's end here. Alpha to Omega, baby. So what I got going on, I got the retail placards on the P1P. These have the QR code. So in the retail store, when I send prints to the retail store, people can know where to find me if they want commission work or something like that. So that's gonna be helpful. I got another batch of the smoke stashes going. I've got another Ultimate USB storage in black because I need one in black to do the photos. And on the Orangestorm GIGA, another stab at the coffee table. So looking over here, it is not going to take an hour and 2 minutes. It's going to take significantly longer than that. I think it was about a day and a half. So I just got this going again. Pulled out the big, fresh 5 kilogram spool of PLA. So that will cover the entirety of this print. So that's not gonna be a concern. Is it cursed? Let's hope not, because I really want this thing to come out because I really want to get that coffee table on there to kind of feel it out and see if that's going to be a viable sort of thing. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Which of these prints do you think holds the most promise? Right now, if I was a betting man, I'd be putting my money on the Ultimate Pen Cup and USB storage thing, not because I just popped those out, but because they are the ideal product for me. It's a literal take it off the printer, put it in a box, and ship it. No post-production, comes out flawlessly every time. It's not a risky print. Not the sexiest thing in the world, but hey, you know, this is about. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Love to know what you're working on. Let me know if you like the vlog style where I kind of go throughout the day and do all these various things. Let me know your comments below. Be sure to like the video because it's the nice thing to do, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm The Technicals. See you next time.